first consideration before any job is health and safety.
Lath and plaster wall you find in all your buildings mostly to be timber pieces nailed up, whereas today now they nail a piece of plasterboard on when they all seen plasterboard and now. But in the old houses just get the old laths on. Notice a little gap in between. Notice we don't butt them right up. That's because when we use the plaster, it's full of water, so all that is the wood could swell up. So if you've got the wood close together, and then it swells, that can make it crack as well, like you get like fine cracks down the wall. So there's a little gap between it, sort of finger gap. The reason being, we want the material to go through there and create a hook. So everything's hanging on that. So this hook, this coat really, is just making sure that you've got your hooks going through, which is the most important thing, because the other hooks that go on there, all our weight is going to be hanging on those hooks. It's called a base coat or scratch coat. It's the next coat we put over when we come closer to decorating, then we make that a bit more pristine and straighter and flatter. We call it hand-bored or hook and an 11-inch plastering trowel, pretty common tools for plastering. Like. So make sure you do a nice good soaking down with some water first. I'll just do this halfway up. Show you. There's a bit of a knack to this, getting it off. Alright? So a couple of little practices behind the bin first, just to get yourself going. We'll see how we go with it. Then put a bit onto the board, look, and when we do it, slide it up and down the back of the trowel so it sticks to the board, so it doesn't fall away. Then we're going to cut through it, just like when you make a sandwich, you cut your butter, don't you push your, yeah? You don't chop down into it, you push through it, yeah? See what I'm doing? So that sticks on the board then, look, right? Let's take a bit of practice. But start at the top and work my way down. Reason being, if I started at the bottom and then I went at the top, because I'm pushing on it and the material, some of the material fall, might knock those hooks I was talking about, might knock them off. Look, so we start, that's when we work down. So, pushing it. I work your way across in the system, just slightly overlapping one piece onto the other, about 2 inches off the last bit, and push back into it, but don't push too much, because all you're going to do is push material through. That will be left to cure then, or to start to stiffen up and go hard, and then we need to make a key in that. You're creating a grip for the next layer of plaster to go on. Everything needs a grip to bond to with plaster, so that's why we damp and then we mark the surface, obviously, and then until we get to the decorated surface, which we don't mark, we trowel that smooth. It's marked in a crisscross action, like so. Yeah, we'll be quicker with that, we'll do slightly tilt them up, and the same thing, just create a diamond pattern. Normally it's 3 coats. The first coat we call the scratch coat.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a straightening up coat if you like. things get a bit more refined. The sand is a bit nicer, bit less gritty, and then the finishing coat on top, the skimming coat then as is known now, the lime finish coat in Ty-Mawr. Just a skimming coat that goes on about 2-3 millimeters. That's basically just for the decoration purpose of painting. There's a lot of insulation plasters. This one, the base of this one is hemp, which is basically a plant chopped up, and it's just full of the plant then instead of sand. You grab yourself an ornament. You have this section and it stays on. You're going to look now. Get rid of there. Alright?
Oh, you've got it, good.
The first step is to wet the last.
Is it why you be waiting for us here? Push in and push it out. That's it. Try and spread that out a bit more with you. What do you want to do, eh?
I'll go right.
Tilt the back of the trowel, yeah? So you, yeah? See what I'm doing? So you tilt it backwards up, yeah? That's it.
What is it? Oh my god! Oh no! Well, it looked easier when I could do it.
That's it. Now we'll look round the back. Now look. See what I'm going through?
No! Make a diamond pattern so the next layer can stick on properly. It's called scratching.
And that's what you need for your plastering, your hawk and your plastering trowel. Now another good tip for workshops, again they're struggling on space. If you can see these A-frames, these can be made with bolted through the top with 4x2, a bit of rope at the bottom so they can be folded, and then they can be lent up against the wall, so it's saving you on space. And then when the students are actually practicing, you can fold these frames out and bring them up into the centre of the workshop. 2 students can work on this at one time, one on this side, one on the other side. You can use the laths, or you can put a fibre board, high density fibre board, fixed or placed. If you put a piece of timber across the bottom to form a shelf, like an easel, you can place your timbers against it. You can do your plastering, you can also do your tiling, and if you want the wall in one area, you can put a different board on there and make it be tiled in a board. So you do your metre of tiling, you do your metre of plastering, one operation on the A-frames. Adapt your own workshop or work area to suit if you want to deliver heritage as what you want it.
Put some material onto the board. You're going to push it up, slide it down so it sucks to the board. So it doesn't slide away when I'm taking the mat off. And I'm going to cut through it at an angle. See, so that sticks now. And then apply to the wall. Pushed on. And then come back and repeat the process. And so on. Alright. It's a bit of a technique to it. It doesn't come straight away. It can take up to a couple of weeks for it to get your hand skills sort of confident enough. But they say, like anything, the more you do it, the more confident you get. And one day it just clicks in. It's a bit like riding a bike. Once you can do it, you'll always be able to do it. I was in school in 14 then, if you like, and I wasn't very academic. So they had a course going called Building Foundation course. So my last 2 years, I spent going to college, doing bits of different aspects, like bits of bricklaying, bits of carpentry, bit of plumbing, and then I came out there and decided I want to be a plasterer. I was a plastering then from age 17. Done an apprenticeship with the county council. And, I travelled then for about 15 years, Germany, Holland, made quite good living really, to be honest with you. Like, followed the money across Europe, went to Ireland, back to Great Britain, and then I studied to be a teacher, teach plastering, and now I got my own business, and I do bits of teaching for Ty-Mawr. The real skill will be in the tradesman himself, with his hand ability and his eye, and so you still need to have that skill. Even though if it's sprayed on a wall for you still need the hand skills to follow up and finish it for the deck to finish.
So this is the top coat, and it's normally laid on in 2 coats, one straight after the next. So Matt's wet the wall down. He's now scraping off all of the toggles of plaster of the last coat, where he made the key into the plaster. He's scraping any little sandy bits off that might be, they'll end up as crumbs in this coat and make lumps. So you've got to get the wall nice and clean and crumb free. So the first coat is about 2mm thick, and then the second coat will be about 1mm, so it's all quite precise. So Matthew started on the left-hand side, and he's gone all the way up, so he's getting his left-hand edge sorted. And the long sweeps with the trowel's long and flat, and as you keep an even pressure over the wall, that helps you get the wall flat. Now he's doing his top edge. So basically what's happening, this wall is going to be sucking the moisture out of the plaster that he's putting on. So the first layer that he puts on gets firm, and it takes about 5-10 minutes to do that. And then the next layer that he puts on is like a wet blanket over that firmer first coat. in the sort of, you would use one of these larger trowels if you're doing quite flat, large areas. Whereas the so you can see this is actually, you know, it's not liquid anymore. It's actually firmed up quite a bit. But so the longer sweeps that you use, the flatter you can get it, and you need to keep an even pressure over the edge of the trowel is the way to get it flat. And you do press quite hard. Very nice. You can see from this that plastering isn't just a trade, a job, it's a sport, because you get very, very fit. Yeah. So when you get to corners, you always come in, start in the corner and come out. Start at the top and come down. So now I'm going to use an orange sponge float. I'm going to fill it up with a bit of top coat. Years ago, back in history, they would have used a wooden float with a bit of felt pinned onto it. But Matt's going to use this sponge float. Just wet the wall. Using the wet float, you just keep rubbing it around. You've got to keep the float flat on the wall. This just again helps you get a flatter finish. So he's working a little bit of moisture into the surface. So this is going to be the final trowel down when it's ready. Matthew's going to use a little bit more of a splash of water if he needs it, if it's a bit sandy. And this final trowel actually compresses the lime as the moisture is sucked into the background. What you've got to remember as well with lime plastering, you can't go and paint that with a modern masonry paint or a modern emulsion that isn't permeable, meaning it doesn't breathe and it traps moisture. So you'd have to use a lime wash or a distemper or an ecological permeable emulsion. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Yeah. Safety glasses on. Don't grab your glasses.
it, trying to keep it flat so you don't get little bits that come away like that. That's really hard. Yeah, it's an amazing skill to be honest, because I've seen guys on site come in, do it in one skin and it be shining because it's so perfect. You can actually see yourself in it, so it does make you appreciate the amount of skill and energy that goes into it, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's all fine. Just need a bit of moisture everywhere. Now, grab your trowel. Sorry. So, just want to press quite hard and go in arcs, like that. That's it. And when it gets too stiff, just dunk it in and get a bit more water.
So just...
Yeah. Keep going. Quicker if you can. If it's getting too stiff, put some more water on.
Do I just do it like that?
You're pressing quite hard. And then any excess you need to wipe on there. So you've got clean, keep the trowel clean. Lovely. Hands. And press really hard and have the trowel at quite a shot. Here you go. That way. And press it as hard as you can. That's it. Lovely. That's enough. After this, it's because it's so good at this. If it's very stiff, if you remember Matthew when he was doing the demo, he was putting a bit more water on a brush.
Yeah.
So you try that now, it'd be a bit easier with a flat, wetter surface.
Well,